Oh my gosh, guys. Did you see the latest movie Chris made? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, see, this is what it's, you know, when you got somebody with real education and real equipment, boy, am I put to shame. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh. Something's bothering me. I wonder if it might be the truth. Okay, so here is a quick response to Chris Turner's little 15-minute rebuttal response, and I thought it was pretty good, except, well, there's a few problems with it, and I'm going to point out those. But I want to show you also, to be reasonable, where I think he genuinely has a point. So I'm going to show you that. He included 4 pictures in this, and by the way, sorry about the background noise, but Brady had to put up with it. But I'm going to show you here what I think is a good analysis on his part and is a true thing that can happen, and also hopefully show that I'm reasonable, that I could be wrong about this or I could be wrong about some of it, but I think I'm still of the opinion that he is shape-shifting. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it, but let me show you where I think Chris has a good point. Okay, so here, you'll notice this is one of the 4 pictures that he included, and the shine that he has here next to the teeth could be causing a bleeding, and that's what you're seeing in this web shot here. But there's 2 things about it, if that's true. One is, have you ever seen something quite like that? And that's not necessarily, you know, a scientific test question, but I'm just pointing out that it looks odd. The second thing is that why do you have such an even shape? How come you don't see a little ball of light on the end? Okay, so that's one point I would make about this, and you know, it certainly is possible that this is what's causing it, but I remain of the opinion, well, first of all, I'm going to show you that I believe my initial opinion is right, but let me just point out that that is a phenomenon that can happen. The light can meld into it. But there's one more thing that I would say that does sound like a convenient excuse on my part, which, by the way, I also would fully you know, come forward and say if a particular shape-shifting event that I have recorded turned out not to be, and I'm not afraid to admit that I've been wrong about it, but as I look at it so far, I don't see that. If I had the original footage that Chris has, then I could really be sure and go over this exact frame and then see, oh, okay, he was right. It's just, there's no growth there. There's no shape-shifting. But he can't give me the original footage because he's under contract. Now, another idea that I thought to do was to analyze some of the other movies that of the people that are on his movie and see if they are shape-shifting, and or also do mine, except to do the interview that I did for him, the ad. But then there again is a different camera, a different setup, so that's something that you could blame a different result on. And furthermore, I might be biased, say, oh, I don't want to see my own shape-shifting. But if I was, I'd tell you guys, yep, turns out I'm a lizard. Guys, I didn't know it the whole time. That's what I wish David Icke would do. Okay, next here is this picture that he sent. Sorry about that reflection, guys. Doing the best I can here. Okay, now, in this shot, he's saying that these matched perfectly. Okay, maybe they do, but there's one little problem here, which is that this very shot actually proves that he's shape-shifting, and you can see that when you analyze each one of these teeth here. When you get really close in and you see each shape. Okay, here's the enlarged version that I sent to Chris, and here's what I'm talking about with that different shape. Okay, here's the row of frames. Sorry about the reflection again, guys, but hopefully you can see everything I'm doing here. Now, look at the difference, guys. If this really is a consecutive frame, this proves he's shape-shifting. Look at this angle here on the tooth, and then look at the angle on the next one. Now look, you see some of this bleeding here, but my question would be is, why do you see this little flat area here, and you see a wide flat area here, and then over here you see a very different shape, and then you see this little nub starting to grow? What is this? Is this just a camera anomaly? You can see it. Here's the yellow of his tooth. He's got some staining there on his tooth. But look at the difference in this shape here from this shape here. Okay? And then look at this nub starting to grow. Look at the size of it. You see how it comes out right here? Now you tell me what that nub is caused by. You see? It's not even growing yet. Maybe it's just starting, and then it starts to come out a little bit here, a little bit more, a little bit more. Holy cow, what is it? See? And the shape of the tooth is different. It's the most dramatic between, we got this sort of rounded shape, and then you have some angle here, and then the angle is sort of different here, and then you see a short angle again, but then here, is this just a camera anomaly? And you can see it also here. Here's the black and white analysis. Look at the difference from frame to frame. See, here's contrast, advanced contrast and sharpness. You get quite a bit of degradation, but this is another way of looking at it. I didn't add anything to it. I just did the contrast to it. But again, here with this bleeding, you could get a growth shape, but then why would it be in that perfect fang-like shape? Here I pointed out a little bit more. You can see this flat area here. You can see how it's shorter here in this frame-by-frame analysis. You see the difference in the shape, and you see this nub. You can see it clearly. Look at this nub. And then here's my trace analysis, which I did not get a perfect, but I did the tooth. I didn't do the outside of the lines. But I noticed the shape. Here's this nub here, and I just did straight lines showing it. But I got a different result, and I even did I put it on here with transparency so that you can see whether I've gone off too far. But my question would be is why don't you see like a round nub added to it? Why do you see that fang sort of shape? But it is possible, but I haven't seen it, and it looks strange to me. Also, another thought that I want to put out here is that again, the shape-shifting could actually be using the available light. I noticed that in the Harrison Ford analysis of the claw coming out of his hand, is that you see, you notice that when the bright light shines upon it, the shapes that are there in that suction cup-like finger seem to disappear right when there's more light shown on it. So that means that the visual, the ability for shapeshifting to be seen may depend on the different types of light that are available. But I definitely will give it to Chris that, first of all, it's not the best analysis method if we can't examine the same footage, which we can't because he can't send me the original because he's under contract. And we may not have another available shapeshifter to analyze the footage on. But I want to take apart some of the other interviews there and see if we can see similar results. But my question would be is why do you get this even shape right here? Okay, you see how the yellow, the fang. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just my question would be why. And then also as far as the color goes, I noticed in the measurement of the color that the color was quite similar. But just common sense as you look at that. That's the web. There's nothing modified about that. That's just the what shows up in a single frame of the web downloaded footage. And just a common sense look at that is just a little bit suspicious, I think. But I don't want to be unscientific about it. But I'm just pointing out that it just, as you look at it, it looks a little strange to me. Okay, now my other problem with this little movie analysis that he did was that he excluded this picture, and I want to see the shine on the tongue or whatever camera anomaly causes this. Okay, now notice the space here between the teeth. I mean, it's massive. And you get some of this blurring right here. Now, Chris, in another one of these analysis frames they did here, I'll punch it up. And this is actually a pretty good comparison that he did. This is from his movie that he just uploaded, his 15 minutes rebuttal, and he points out that all this detail gets lost here. Okay, and that the shine right here could be causing this, and I think that this is a good analysis, and I think he could be right. That is what's causing it. My question would be, and another thing I brought up too, is that the web footage, something about the footage being cut to 25 frames per second may catch a frame in mid-frame or something, and that's why you get that situation. Again, if I had the original footage, I can see, but you can see here, his teeth are obviously, this tooth and this tooth are close together. The gap is in the center. There's no gap between this one and this one. And then, when you look at this, look at the size of that gap there, and this tooth comes all the way up here. And as you know from my movie, I scrubbed through it. I mean, can you tell me what shine on the tongue causes this? Okay, because you can see the shape, this jaggy shape. You can see the shadow here, and you can see the jaggy shape, which I pointed out here. And then here's the full analysis that I did. That's the original snap. But I mean, can you tell me what video anomaly causes, first of all, this tooth to come way up here? Look at how much higher it is, and then this gap here. I mean, it's just hard to say. Well, maybe there is. If I had the original footage and I had this particular frame, and I could see. But it's also, again, as I explained to Chris, that the shape-shifting may also be coming out when the frames are split or melded or whatever happens when the quality loss of YouTube processing takes place. But I mean, I do see a blurring here, and there is blurring, so there can be melding in shapes. But what I would point out is, look at how you can see the shape of the tooth. Look at how you can see. See, here's the corner, and you see this big space, and there's the background. I would just be curious what camera anomaly causes that. I mean, currently I don't think so, but I mean, if I could see the original footage and compare it and see, then I might be able to have a better way to tell. But I mean, if you ask me, my challenge would be to Chris, look, can you get gaps like that and anomalies like that on somebody else? Video yourself, upload it to YouTube, film your screen, and or whatever you want to do, re-download it again, and see if you can get this kind of shape difference anomaly in whatever you analyze and download. But again, I would just point out in his analysis, you don't see this. You don't see the analysis of this and or what shine causes this massive gap in the teeth. So that's a quick response, and you know, I appreciate his thoughtful analysis and everything, but I just think, you know, there's some, you know, considerable flaws in that thinking, and also what would be really good to see is some analysis of other footage to see if we can get similar fangs and spaces in the teeth, because I think I mean, I remain convinced that, you know, the shape-shifting is definitely occurring. I mean, it's just, you know, as you scrub through it and you look at it, it just, you know, to me, common sense says otherwise. But, you know, if I would like to see, my challenge would be this: let's see these kind of anomalies, these kinds of fangs, these kinds of spaces between the teeth. Let's see you come up with that with somebody else.